After my existential crisis, after watching the P. Diddy documentary, I realized that my compulsive, addictive behavior that I have, and most people I know for sure have, in some sort of way, you are addicted to something. I just think about what you're addicted to. Maybe it's something today that you are compulsively using or abusing to the point where, you tell yourself that, like, okay, this is the last time I'm gonna do it. I don't need this. I can just do it at night or I can just do it here and there. But it turns into you're waking up first thing in the morning, whether you're snorting something, smoking something, drinking something, eating a pill, whatever it is. You're online on social media, drinking coffee, you're addicted to getting in arguments, you're addicted to waking up and constantly being in this negative world because it you don't want to dig deeper into the issues that you have, so you are numbing yourself in a way, wanting to die while you surround yourself with this negativity. Those are some of the thoughts that I had. And, it's a realization that how someone who looks up to someone like P. Diddy, in the movie, in the documentary, showed that he looked up to certain people. One person was his dad. In a way, was not in his life, but he had an image of this gangster pimp, killer type of drug dealer, which he was, in the news. There was some news about him being a drug peddler, pusher. There was some money. The people that he looked up to, the people that he aspired to be career wise, did all of the nasty, disgusting, evil, demonic rituals that he did, and that was discussed in the series, playing those dirt, disgusting videos of people for the public to see at parties, degrading people, physically hurting people that are not strong as you. It makes you think. First, it starts off with him wanting to fit in. You fit in into the society that you look up to, and slowly you'll achieve that. And if you're wanting to fit in the wrong, okay, you're in college and everyone around you is doing drugs, smoking, uh, you name it, popping M30 opioid pills, snorting stuff in the bathroom, in between classes. If this is what's going around you, then over time, that's going to be your normal, and that's what you will achieve to do more of, because that's what you are around, and as a way of survival, you want to conform. We're all conforming to something. I mean, it's hard to not conform if you want to survive in this society. And P. Diddy, I'm not his lawyer or anything. He was wanting to conform and was conforming in the wrong ways. And I see how that way of thinking, for me, I had an addiction problem, with opioids, with painkillers, with, at first, a little bit of drinking too, but it didn't sit well with my stomach. So it was more so pills, painkillers, and it got pretty bad. And the way it started was music talked about is and still talks about popping perks, oxycontin, this, that, and lean, sipping lean. Have you ever thought why they're always talking about these certain things, these certain drugs that are very deadly? They are promoting it. They're not only promoting it, they're saying that, I mean, I'm sure some of these rappers have addiction problems themselves, but the way they are promoting it is like how you, Mark, who is someone I've looked up to growing up, like Spider-Man, I looked up to growing up when I was a kid. And if Spider-Man, between saving people, is going to the bathroom and snorting those Percocets, I'm gonna maybe want to reenact those behaviors too if I'm a kid. And if these rappers with all, you grow up, you want girls, money, cars, attention, the respect from people, and you see people achieve that respect in illegal ways and still get those things. It's snowing outside. It snowed. I live in Kentucky, Louisville, so there's a little bit of snow today. And you see these activities unfold in front of you. Over time, your mind will start to degrade, and this compulsive always chasing the next thing. So first with him, I'm sure it starts off with small, devilish activities that he was doing, and over time, like Jeffrey Epstein, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And it literally it reminds me of like, okay, you start doing pills, you snort a couple lines, you do one pill a day, and then it turns into you don't even know how many you're doing. You're just doing so many to the point where you want to just feel an abyss, and you've crossed the line. Look, when you do, especially harder substances, once you've crossed that line, whether that's doing H, doing crystal, there's a line that's crossed. I mean, if you're doing pills, I mean, that's another line that's crossed too, but there's a line mentally between you're taking a pill versus getting some powder in a bag. And when you cross certain lines, it's hard to go back unless you have a whole system reset, which is rehab and change your whole way of thinking. But even with, dark things, when you, let's say, hurt someone, like, not to say to do this, but once you, like, you go and you're in the military or you're in some gang and you kill someone, that's very, very bad. And that's a line that when you cross that, there's no going back. And similarly to correct me if I'm wrong, Achilles fought Hector, and after he killed him, he just couldn't sleep because he attached his body on the chariot and it kept dragging his body for days, and the gods were mad. This and that. That's you cross the line, and after crossing that line, the only way to cope and be able to handle with what you've done is to keep doing more. What's the word? Depravity, more vulgar and more of a crossing line. It just becomes like a high that you're trying to achieve or feel like that first time. I don't know how people would get high doing these nasty demonic things, but I think it's with anything. When you cross a line, whether that's in your addiction or something, sometimes it's hard to come back because you can't deal with what you've done. Maybe you can't deal with the fact that you just snorted H or did crystal, smoked meth from a pipe or something, or, harmed someone physically. You start doing these things and there's no going back sometimes. And when people promote and society tells you to keep doing, let's say if you're in a secret society and everyone's doing these devilish things, you can feel bad about it. But sometimes when you've crossed that line, there's no going back. And one thing I've figured out, or I'm trying to figure out, if with my, addictive personality, is after you've crossed the line, there is ways to get back, but you have to have a system reset. And I'm not saying in Diddy's case there's a ways to redemption. I do think that sometimes when lines are crossed, there's no going back. But it's a deeper topic than what I want this video to be. This whole documentary taught me a lot about the mind of a person who is not much different than you in the sense of being a human being. He doesn't have superpowers. He was just at the right place at the right time in the sense of success. This person achieved so much in the sense of what we are taught to achieve, black society, kids, families, you see a role model like someone like P. Diddy, not to say he is a role model, but when you look at materialistic things, you will start to say, be more like this person because they have what we don't have. And sometimes when people have, if they have something you don't have, that doesn't mean that you should do what they're doing. And I think we don't really think too deep about what we should tell our kids and people around us to do. We shouldn't, and this isn't gonna change anything, but it's just maybe change the way you think. Just judge less. Worry about yourself. don't stop telling people, oh, you should do this career or you should do that. I think this idea is not good. Let people do whatever they want to do. That's a whole other topic. And it shows you that how just a person like Diddy, he was just a normal kid growing up, I guess. Single mother, this and that. Looked up to the wrong people and knew the right people in the sense of like he knew he was street smart. He knew where to be, what to do. He created a tragedy of those people dying at the basketball game into just a PR move. And he kept doing that. And even now, the horrific things he's done. I mean, it sounds like a demonic ritual. Like you do these nasty things and then you get famous in a way, but you go to jail if the right people are in power, the wrong people go to jail. If the right people are willing to expose the wrongdoings of the wrong, evil, corruptness of the world, then that's the first step. And I think making documentaries like this, speaking up, even if, you might get death threats, speaking up. I've been learning a lot from predictive history. Professor, I need to learn his name. There's a lot that is going on in this world, and I think that the first step is being more aware. And how do you become more aware? Just pay attention to things. Don't learn not to fall for the trap. Thank you for watching. If you found this interesting or want more stuff like this, let me know in the comments below. I reply to all my comments, and I appreciate every comment that you guys write. I find it interesting so I can know what videos to focus more on and topics to touch on. Thank you. I love you.